Good morning, everyone. It's April 30th, 2020, and I've got some bad news. That card you just bought actually might go down in value. But before we begin, I've got a couple things on my mind. Number one, if you could do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. I am 11 away from 200, and I would love to get to 200 by Monday morning. So thank you for that. Secondarily, in the gardening world, I have lost my weeding tool. I don't know where it is. I can't figure out where I left it. So if anyone can help me out with where it could be, I would greatly appreciate it. This thing was a whopping $1 at the store. I gotta find it. I don't want to go to the store and buy another one, but I cannot for the life of me figure out where this tool is. So I need your help. If you can find it, I'll give you a $5 reward. So please help me find this $1 tool before I have to go buy another one at the store. But hey, yesterday's video was a lot of fun to put together. It took me a couple of, actually an extra hour to put together. I filmed everything and then I added a bunch of images. It really tested me when it came to my video editing skills. I watched it again in the evening and I felt that it was, I missed a lot of content. I think I could have made it a lot longer and added more details around my performances or my preferences in PSA, BGS, and SGC. I think the message was a little muddled, but so I'll be looking at putting out a sort of part 2 to that series to further talk about grading and my perspective on grading and who I would pick. But thanks for watching the video yesterday. It was really well performing for my standards and my channel averages, so it was good to see, but I think I did leave out some information. But hey, let's talk about cards and cards going up and cards going down. Now look, if you go on YouTube and you search investment, you search card prices, flipping, everybody is going to tell you that every card is going to go up in value. And I'm here to tell you that's not the case. And I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that's not the case. This sort of story comes to me from a OneDrive memory that happened 3 years ago today, and it illustrates just how a card purchase does not work in your favor at times, but it also could work in your favor. But this is the card that I pulled on April 30th, 2017. So I'll try to set the stage for you when it came to this card and this pull and my thought process back in the day. So 3 years ago, I was not in the case buying game yet. I was in the early stages of going from single boxes to multiple boxes, building up CRT sports cards. So this was sort of right before I started getting into case breaking on a larger scale. So this was a 3-box purchase of 2017 Bowman Chrome. And for anyone who follows my Twitter account quite frequently, Jerry helps me open up a lot of cards, and she has come a very long way from knowing the players, knowing who to pull, and knowing the color variations. So 3 years ago, she was sort of in the early stages of her development when it came to knowing what she was looking at, in a sense. And so I let her open up one of the 3 boxes, and then she would always play this game where it's like, hey, I've got this, I've got, this color, I have this team, so it's kind of like a guessing game, like, can I figure out who it is? And being this was a Bowman prospect or Bowman product, there's not a chance that she would know who anybody is because it's a prospect, and half the time I don't even know who these players are, but it is what it is. And so she had said at the time, I think she had said something like gold and then reds, and I said, put it down. And so what it ended up being is this card right here, a Nick Senzel gold auto out of 50. Now, when you time travel back to 2017, this was one of the main guys to pick up in this product. I ended up listing it on eBay, and at this time I was big on the Beckett message boards. I haven't posted that recently. I did a couple posts the other day, but 3 years ago I was not on Twitter, and I was mainly posting on there. And obviously a ton of people asking about the card, but I ended up listing it on eBay, and I sold it within a couple of days. I actually made Jerry hit the accept offer button for $925. So that clearly covered, my case, or my 3 boxes And obviously a ton of profit there, and so on and so forth. And actually, I went back to another LCA. So we have a couple here in Seattle, and I bought 3 more boxes. I think about a couple weeks later, and I pulled a PJ Conlon Orange Shimmer Auto, which I still have. It's actually a PSA 10, or I mean BGS 10. It's not pristine, not a black label, but so it's really interesting that year I bought 6 loose boxes, 3 at a time. And for anyone who doesn't know, 3 is my favorite number, so I do everything in 3s. So I always buy 3 boxes. And so I ended up getting 2 3-box, random 3 boxes. Both had an orange auto. That one had an orange. This Sentinel was gold. But just crazy luck in those 6 boxes overall. But that got me thinking. I said, look, I can access Terapeak. I'm curious, what is this card worth? I mean, worth in 2020. I mean, it's been 3 years later. Everything I'm told online is all the cards go up, and so I probably sold too early. And the one thing I really, it's not really a pet peeve, but one thing I really dislike is when people look back at all of their sales from years ago and go, oh, I should have held this card for 4 years, or I should have held this for 5 years, or it's very easy to look back with perfect vision and say, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. It's really hard to look at. Look, I took this $925, or I took X amount of dollars, and I turned it into $4,000 to $5,000, $6,000 at that time. So I never look back at what I sold and think what could have happened. But I did look at this card at a curiosity to say, what is this card worth in 2020? So let's take a quick look at Terapeak right now. So here we have Terapeak open. Let's take a look at what a 2017 gold auto is for Senzel. So we'll go 2017 Bowman Chrome Senzel gold auto. Now there was Bowman Best this year, and there was a Sensation auto. So we want to remove those from the search. Let's do it for the full year. And then let's filter it by last date sold. So here we go. This card over the past year, now I sold it for $925 3 years ago, tomorrow or the next day. So basically I think it was like May 1 or May 2 I sold it. This card on average is now worth $526. Now look, that's a hefty amount of money, but that's nearly 50% loss in 3 years. And so the most recent sale here is 606 on April 19th, so about a week ago. Let's see, there is a... I'm not sure why that one's showing for $29. It doesn't make any sense. But there's a gold shimmer for $387. We know shimmers are lower in value. They're not as desirable as gold autos. Gold refractor here on February 29th for $305. So I mean, even here, I mean that's a third of the value in February 29th. So some reason there's a spike here when it came to April 19th. But 305, 600, 400. I hate non-auto in listings. I should have done non. Let's remove negative non, actually, or yeah. So here we go. So that removes them. That takes it back up to 571. Still a big drop in value over the past 3 years in this card. So I think there's a big sale here on July 12th, 2019 for $1,000, but look, it's few and far between. This goes back all the way a year, and this one didn't sell at $1,500. But so you can see here, this is a card that I sold for $925 3 years ago that has lost 50% of its value. So when you're buying cards to flip in the future, we all want to flip cards for more money. And that can be used to buy more cards or buy a PC item, whatever that might be, right? We all looking to buy cards to make some money on the side. There's 3 simple principles that I follow as a buyer myself. Number 1, don't believe the hype. It's very easy to get on camera and say, oh, I bought these cards and I made X amount of money, or I'm an investor, I'm this, I'm that. Don't believe the hype. Number 2, do your own research. Figure out the player, figure out where they're playing for, how they're doing, all that good stuff. Do your own research. Do not post a message up saying, who should I invest in, or who are the top prospects? If you're going to put your money down on a number, on a card, do your own research. And 3, please do not overextend yourself into a card purchase. Use the money that you can afford to lose on a card purchase. Do not overextend yourself to buy this card. I really hope the person who bought this card for me for $9.25 3 years ago did not overextend themselves. Now, I can't worry about that on the back end. I can't control people's spend. I can only give sort of my advice and what I follow as a buyer myself. But if this person bought this card and $9.25 is now sitting on it still 3 years later, they've lost 50% of their value. And we know Senzel has had a very challenging career with migraines and staying healthy. This card may never recover from the current price. It could even continue to fall. So hopefully the buyer flipped it again, maybe a year later or something like that. But if he's still holding this card, he's unfortunately lost 50% of the value. So at the end of the day, not every card goes up. A vast majority of cards go down. It's very easy to cherry pick the ones that go up, and it's very easy to say, I'm an investor, follow my advice. Be careful out there, do your research, and do not overextend yourself. So with that, guys, my front yard is calling me. I got a few things to do outside there. Hopefully, I will find my weeding tool today. Update tomorrow on that. But have a great week, into the week collecting. It's Thursday. For anyone who's still working right now, the weekend is almost here. And if you're going to a virtual card show, hopefully you have some good purchases. But have a great time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you all tomorrow.